Hello everyone and welcome to this video. I hope you guys are doing good and I hope you guys are preparing well for this year's RBI DEPR exam. I have come up with this video to discuss some quality questions with you. You can pause the video and do the questions first on your own and then see the solution. These questions will help you understand what is your current level of preparation. Okay, so let's start. So question number 1. So here two firms are given and they're saying that these two firms compete in a market where the demand is this. So this is the market demand. And then the firm supply behavior is given by this. So this is the supply for the first firm and this is the supply for the second firm. Now they're asking on average what is the revenue that each firm makes in the market. Okay. So sometimes we may not get any sort of clue as to where to begin such types of questions. Now, let us see what they have given. Let us first write that. So, they are saying that the market demand is this. So, P is 100 minus 4Q. And then the supply of two firms is given as P is 12 minus 3Q. And then P is 6 plus 6Q. Okay. So, we are just given demand and supply. So we'll try to then equate demand and supply or try to use these three equations to arrive at something. So firstly, I can write that what is this Q? This Q is nothing but Q1 plus Q2, right? So I can write P as 100 minus 4 Q1 plus Q2, right? Because these are the two firms which are there. And the total supply, the total quantity Q is the sum of the quantity produced by these two firms, right? And similarly, I can write here Q1 and here Q2, right? Now, I have an idea that why don't you calculate Q1 from here and Q2 from here and then put these here, right? And then solve for the price, right? So this can be done. So let us see what is Q1. So Q1 is, from this equation, you can write Q1. So Q1 would be how much? 3Q1 would be P minus 12. So this would be P by 3 minus 4, right? This would be Q1. And similarly, Q2 would be P by 6 minus 1, right? Now substitute these Q1 and Q2 into this equation. So let us do that. So price would be equal to 100 minus 4 and Q1 is P by 3 minus 4 plus Q2 is P by 6 minus 1, right? So if we solve this further, so P is 100 minus 4. Now this would be P by 2 minus 5, right? So further, this would be 100 minus 2P plus 20, right? So this would be 3P equals to 120. So we'll get price as 40. Okay. So the price in the market, comes out to be 40. Now, what to do? What we can do is that we can substitute this price here in these two equations. So when we do that, we will get this Q1 and Q2. So Q1 would be 40 by 3 minus 4, right? And Q2 would be 40 by 6 minus 1. Now, I will not really try to find out the exact value for this Q1 and Q2 because, remember, just go back to the question again and see what they were really asking. So they were asking what is the average, on an average, what is the revenue that each firm is making. So basically, they want us to find out P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2 divided by 2, right? Because this is the average revenue of the two firms. So why not just write this? So we want to find out what is P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2 by 2, right? Now, if you see P1, so price we have already calculated, that is 40, right? And what is Q1? Q1 you can write from here. So that is 40 by 3 minus 4. So this is 40 by 3 minus 4 plus P2 again 40. And what is Q2? Q2 is this 40 by 6 minus 1. So 40 by 6 minus 1, right? And this whole is divided by 2. So again, we can take 40 common, and then this would be 40 by 3 minus 4 plus 40 by 6 minus 1. This is 2 here. Now this would be 20, and you can take the LCM here and you will get 6. So 80 plus 40, and this is minus 5. So this would be 120 by 6 minus 5. This is 20, so this would be 20 multiplied by 15, which is 300, right? So I think the answer should be 300. Let us check the options. So yes, in option A we have this 300, so this would be the answer. Okay, so this is how you can solve this question. It seemed difficult at first, but when you try to solve, it is not that difficult. Okay, now let us see question 2. So here the total cost function of a firm is given as q square plus 20q plus 17. And now to maximize its profit, this firm is selling 100 bikes per month at a price of 330. And then they are asking us to find out the markup for this firm in percentage terms. So firstly, what is markup? You should know the formula of markup. So markup is nothing but P minus MC by P, right? So you have to find out the value of this and then express this in percentage terms. So now, if you look at this question, they're saying that this firm is maximizing profit, and when it maximizes the profit, it is selling quantity equal to 100 bikes. So this means that the profit maximizing, the profit maximizing quantity is 100, and then they are telling us the price as well. So price is 330 when this firm is selling 100 bikes. So that means we have got the price, right? And you know that at profit maximization, MC is equal to MR, right? Now MC we can find out from here, from this total cost. So that would be nothing but the differentiation of this. So this would be 2Q plus 20, right? And the quantity, the profit maximizing quantity, that is 100. So you can put this here. So your MC would be then 220, right? So now you have the price, you have the MC. You can put these values into this equation to find the markup. Let us try to do that. So that would be P is 330 minus MC 220 divided by 330. So that would be 110 by 330. That would be 1 by 3. And in percentage terms, you can say this is 33.33%. So I think the correct answer should be option B. Now let us solve question number 3. So here they're asking which of the following is true in an oligopoly market. And now the options are: firms are making zero profits over the long run. Now this one, this is obviously incorrect, right? Because that oligopoly, it does make some positive economic profit in the long run. And whenever there are barriers to entry in a market, right? Whenever there are barriers to entry in a market, then there will always be positive economic profits in the long run, right? Because if there are barriers to entry, so whatever profit these firms are earning, the other firms cannot enter into this market. So these firms will continue to enjoy positive economic profits. So in oligopoly, we know that there are barriers to entry. So therefore, this statement is incorrect. Option B, firms behave as in the prisoner's dilemma. Now, that prisoner's dilemma is, it basically represents a loss-loss situation for both the firms, if we are talking about two firms. And in oligopoly, we know that it is not always about loss and loss. I mean, it is not always a worse situation for both the firms. We know that in oligopoly there is collusion as well. And when the firms collude, they can arrive to a win-win situation. So it is not as if that they always find themselves in this situation of prisoner's dilemma. Sometimes if they can collude, if they don't really compete with each other, they can land up in a win-win situation, right? So this option is also not correct. Okay, option C, there can be welfare losses in an oligopoly market. Okay, before this, let us look at option D. Option D is firms do not cooperate. Now, I mean, we just discussed that there is collusive oligopoly where the firms collude. So this is not correct. Firms do cooperate sometimes. So naturally, then the correct option is option C. The correct answer is option C. But let us see what they're talking about. So there can be welfare losses in an oligopoly market. Now this is true because whenever you are producing at this level, that is whenever your price is greater than marginal cost, then there will always be some kind of welfare losses, because for the society, the optimal thing is when the firm produces at this level, that is when the price is equal to marginal cost. If it is greater than marginal cost, then there will be welfare losses. And you can see this from this graph, that just look at this is the demand, this is the demand curve, this is the MC, and this green one is the MR. And MC and MR, they are getting intersected at this point, right? So this is the profit maximizing quantity, and at this level you can see that this much would be the MC, right? However, the price, for the price you have to go to the demand curve. Price is this much, so obviously we can see here that price is greater than MC, right? And because of this, there will be welfare losses, that is there will be deadweight loss for the society. So you can see this is the deadweight loss that they have depicted. Okay, so there will be welfare losses when we talk about an oligopoly. So therefore the correct answer is option C. Okay, now let us see question 4. So a pizza making firm in a perfect competition is hit by an increase in the cost of labor. Okay, so their cost of production is increasing. So workers preparing the pizzas are now more expensive. All right. Now, knowing the firms keep maximizing profit, which of the following is most likely to be true? So they're saying that the firms will still like to maximize their profit, then which of the following is true? So if we see option A, the firm should increase the quantity produced to increase its total revenue. So they are saying that firm should increase the quantity. Option B, the firm should not change. So Q, it is remaining the same. Option C, the firm has no other choice than raising the price. They're saying the price should increase. 4, the firm should reduce the quantity produced. That is, Q should decrease. Now, firstly, if we are talking about a perfect competition, right? So we know that in perfect competition, the firms are price takers. They are price takers. So this option of raising the price, that is not really there with this firm. So this option you can directly eliminate. Option C cannot be the answer. Now let us see the situation that the cost of labor is increasing. So initially it would be this situation that MC must be equal to MR, and under this situation the firm is maximizing their profit. However, now what happens is that the cost of labor is increasing. So don't you think that if the cost of labor is increasing, your MC will increase, right? Because now the cost of producing one more pizza, that will increase because of the increase in the cost of labor. Now, if MC increases, then what will happen? The MC will become greater than MR, and this equality will no longer hold. Okay. But we know that this firm wants to maximize the profit. So we would like to go back to this equality. So how to do this? To do this, what we have to do? We have to decrease MC and increase MR, right? If this happens, then again MC and MR, they can become equal. Now, how to decrease MC and increase MR? What you can do is you can reduce the quantity that you are producing, because when you decrease the quantity, the marginal cost will decrease, right? And when you decrease the quantity, the MR will increase, right? Because in MR we studied that it is it follows diminishing returns. So if you keep on producing more and more quantity, the MR will decrease. But on the other hand, if you reduce the quantity, then the MR will increase, right? So I think the firm should reduce the quantity produced in order to increase, basically in order to keep maximizing profit. So I think the answer should be option D. That is, the firm should reduce the quantity produced. Okay. Now let us see question 5. So here, a firm operating in perfect competition will permanently exit the market if. Okay. Now They're talking about that this firm is permanently exiting the market. Now, what does it mean? It means that definitely they're talking about long run, right? Because in short run, what happens is the firm shuts down, right? It does not really exit the market because exiting the market is not an option in the short run. That is not possible. And in the short run, then we decide when the firm will shut down. If the price is less than the minimum of average variable cost. But this thing we will not discuss here, because now we are more concerned about the firm permanently exiting the market. Now, naturally, this will happen when your price at which this firm is selling, it becomes lower than the average cost, isn't it? Because in the long run, the funda is very clear that if you are making losses, then just exit that industry, because there is no sense to continue in that industry in the long run if you are making losses. So if price is less than average cost, you should just exit the industry. So therefore, the answer should be option B, that is price less than average cost. Okay. Now, question 6. Consider the fundamental problem in economics, and now which of the following statements does not hold? Okay. Now, guys, this is a very basic question, but sometimes we forget the basics. So, what is this fundamental problem in economics? Now, there are three fundamental problems in economics. That is, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, right? These are the three fundamental problems that are there in economics. Now, let us look at the options. So, consumers play a role in the fundamental problem, not the producers. Now, I think they are saying the reverse thing, right? Here, if we see all of these, these three questions, these are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So, all these questions are dealing with production, right? So producers, they have a very important role to play. In fact, it is the producers who play a fundamental, who play a very important role in solving, this fundamental problem. It is not the consumers. Consumers are not directly related to this fundamental problem, right? So I think this should be the answer, option A. But let us look at the other options as well. So option B, specialization requires a trading mechanism. Now, obviously, if you want to specialize in something, so what is your objective? Your objective is to trade the extra quantity that you would be producing with someone else. And if there is no trading mechanism, then it makes no sense to specialize in something, right? So that is fair enough. Option C, markets can be a part of a solution to the fundamental problem. Now, of course, this fundamental problem can be solved in various ways. So if it is a market economy, then that will leave it to the market, that is the the market forces of demand and supply, to solve this fundamental problem. So yes, this is true. And another option is that the central government, the central government that is there, leave it to the central government to solve this fundamental problem. That is, the government will decide what to produce and how to produce and for whom to produce. So this option is also correct. I mean, this statement is correct, but since they were asking the incorrect ones, so I think option A should be the correct answer. All right. Now let us look at question 7. So what are the necessary conditions for a firm to apply second degree price discrimination? Okay. So firstly, what is second degree price discrimination? Now this occurs when a company charges a different price for different quantities consumed. For example, sometimes the company offers discount if you purchase quantity in bulk, right? So this is a kind of a second degree price discrimination. Okay, now let us look at the options. Option A, economies of scale and a certain level of market power. Now, definitely you need a certain level of market power. If you don't have any market power at all, how will you apply this price discrimination? Have you ever heard of a firm in perfectly competitive market employing this price discrimination? No, it's not possible at all. So you need to have certain level of market power. So this is correct. Now, economies of scale, well, it is good to have economies of scale, but I don't think it is necessary as such, right? Because they are asking about the necessary conditions. So it's good if it is economies of scale, because it means that your average cost of production is declining. as you produce more quantity. But this does not directly relates to this second degree price discrimination, so I don't think that this option is correct. But let us see the other options. Option B, ability to ensure resale between consumers. Well, what are they saying? Ability to ensure resale. Well, this is the exact opposite. Why do you want to ensure resale between consumers? That will defeat the purpose of price discrimination, right? So it is, they're just saying the reverse thing. So this is absolutely incorrect. And let us look out for if this expression is there in any of the other options as well. So if you look at this, ensure resale between consumers, so this is also gone. Okay, option C, different willingness to pay among consumers and a certain level of market power. Yes, I think this is correct, because different willingness to pay, now this has to be there. Otherwise, how will you discriminate? How, I mean, you want consumers to have different willingness, because then only you can charge a price according to their willingness, isn't it? So I think this option is correct. Let us see the option E as well. Economies of scale and different willingness to pay among consumers. So again, as we discussed in option A, that economies of scale doesn't directly relate to the price discrimination. So I think the answer is option C. Okay, now let us look at question 8. A firm whose long run cost function is C equals to 7 plus Q has, okay, so now they want us to find whether it follows economies of scale, diseconomies, or constant returns to scale. So this is the cost function given to you, so that means this is the total cost given to you, right? To find economies or diseconomies of scale, what we have to do, we have to find out whether the average cost of this firm is increasing or decreasing when you increase the quantity, right? So let us find the average cost. So average cost would be nothing but total cost by quantity. That would be 7 by Q plus 1, right? And you can easily see that if you increase the quantity, what will happen? The average cost, it will decline, right? You can see, I mean, easily you can observe from here. So this means that this is an example of economies of scale, right? So this option is incorrect. Diseconomies are constant returns to scale. It doesn't make any sense here, because they haven't provided us the production function, right? So this is kind of irrelevant here. Okay, so I think the answer is option A. Okay, question 9. A key determinant of the price elasticity of supply. Okay, now what is price elasticity of supply? Very simple. It is basically percentage change in the quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in the price, right? Now they want us to find out the key determinant here. So first is importance of the good in the consumer's budget. Well, elasticity of supply, it deals more with the producer rather than the consumer, right? So I think this is not really correct. This may have been correct if we were dealing with the price elasticity of demand. Now time horizon, yes, I think this is a very important factor, because there are some products whose production take a lot of time, right? And if we are talking about those products, so even if the price changes in the short run, the quantity supplied won't really change, because it is just not possible to change the quantity supplied in a short span of time, right? So for those products, the price elasticity of supply, it remains inelastic, right? So time horizon, yes, definitely it is a key determinant of price elasticity of supply. The answer should be this. Now let us look at the other options as well. Option C, income of consumers. Now again, whatever is happening with the consumers, it doesn't have any direct impact on price elasticity of supply. Option D, price elasticity of demand. Well, I don't think there is a very kind of any direct relation between price elasticity of demand and price elasticity of supply. So I think the answer should be option B. Okay, question 10, very easy one. A movement along the demand curve might be caused by a change in. Okay, now there are two things. So first is movement along the curve, okay, and then there is another thing, that is shift of the curve, right? Now whenever we draw a graph, let us say this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and let us say this some random graph or something. Now the basic rule here is when you change any of these variables, when you change either x or either y, then you would be you would be moving up and down on this curve. But if you change any variable which is other than x or y, then this curve would be shifting. Okay, so I mean, this is the basic idea behind this movement along the curve and shift of the curve. So now they're asking about movement along the demand curve. Now we know in the case of demand curve, what is the y-axis? You know, we know y-axis is nothing but the price, right? And what is the x-axis? X-axis is nothing but the quantity, right? So we know that the movement along the demand curve will take place when either you are changing price or you are changing quantity. If you are changing any other variable apart from price or quantity, then this curve will shift, the demand curve will shift. So they're asking you about the movement along the demand curve. So I think this should be the answer. The price of the good or the service that is being demanded. If you change the price of this particular good, you know, if you change this price, then you will be moving up and down on this demand curve. So the correct answer is option D. Alright guys, so this is it for this video. I hope you liked the 10 questions discussed. If you want, you can also join my Telegram group. I will leave the link in the description where I guide aspirants preparing for RBI and other government exams, specifically in the economics stream. I'll be coming up with more videos and I'll discuss more such questions. Okay, thank you.